This is UMAR for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Our channel pestered Tommy Fury in Las Vegas. Now we're at his house. Can't get enough of the Furies this week, and rightly so, because my God, your brother put on a display that, as I said to your dad, we've not seen from a British fighter before in the ring.
No, I don't think you'll ever see it again from a British fighter in the ring. You know, and we're not being biased or anything when we say the opinions that we say. You know, that what everybody witnessed who tuned in, who was there at the event on Saturday night, witnessed sporting history. That fight was bigger than boxing. You know, for Tyson, it was what he went through in his whole life, what he came back and what he did on Saturday night. You know, that will go down in history. And everybody that was a part of it, you know, they should be privileged.
You was there. Just talk me through the first time he knocked Deontay down, because that's the first time we really seen Deontay on the floor.
Yeah.
And it was a shock to us, but you could see the way Tyson was catching it with the right hands that it was going to come. What was the reaction inside the arena?
Well, it was just like he was fighting at Old Trafford. He was fighting the MGM in Las Vegas, but it'd have been no different if he was fighting in Old Trafford in Manchester. Everyone, it was a pro Tyson crowd in there, and what he did Saturday night, honestly, when he knocked him down first, and just what he done the whole fight, you know, it was just, I had to pinch myself, you know, because it was a punch perfect performance. You know, you can look at the interviews that I did all week out there in Las Vegas. You know, there's no stumbling underneath my breath. I said that he was going to knock him out, and he went out there and he did it. So it was just well, it was what it was, wasn't it? It was sporting history. It was bigger than a boxing event. It was bigger than a boxing match. It was way, way past that. And he showed that Saturday night.
As you would have heard me speaking to your dad about Deontay's comments since the fight. Firstly, we'll start with the fact that he wants to trigger the trilogy. It was such a one-sided beating that there were suggestions he might not do it. But where else does he really go? He's got it in the contract. He's not going to get a world title shot anywhere else. And a payday like Tyson Fury, so you can kind of understand why he's taken it.
Yeah, 100%. You know, normally in trilogy fights, when you got 3 fights, normally one fella wins the first fight, another one, you know, he wins that, and you've got to have a decider. But in this case, you know, Tyson beat him the first time, landslided him. He lost 2 rounds out of 12. The second time, he obliterates him in 7 rounds. But as in terms of, you know, wanting a third fight, as a fighter and as a man who competes in fighting, you want to be the best. You know, Deontay Wilder obviously wants to be the best, and in my opinion, Deontay Wilder is the second best heavyweight in the world. So, as a fighting man, Deontay Wilder will want to prove himself. He'll want to give it another go, regardless, you know, what he thinks in his own mind. Anyway, he'll want it to give a go because of the fight inside him. But, you know, I commend Deontay Wilder because I've seen when you're there, you see the punches go in, you hear the thud that of the punches going in. You can't have nothing but respect for Deontay Wilder, because a lot of people talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk. And Deontay Wilder was definitely a true man, because, you know, he didn't quit himself, he didn't go down, he didn't stay down, he didn't look for the floor. He was there to win. It was the best Deontay Wilder there. And all the time he was in there, he never looked for the floor. And any man that does that, you've got to commend him.
You mentioned Deontay's punching power. We saw Tyson's punching power in full effect on Saturday night. And it's been undermined so much by people. Never been given the respect on that front. Where do you see him in terms of punching power ability? If you look at the likes of Deontay, your brother, Anthony Joshua, he's right up there, right? He's got to be considered right up there after what he did on Saturday.
Well, like I said before, you can go back, you know, 2 weeks before the fight, you know, the week of the fight, especially when I was doing all the other interviews. I said, myself, if you don't think a 6'9", 270-pound man can't punch, then I think you need a brain transplant. You let a 19-stone man hit you in the face and see if you can punch or not. You know, it's just ridiculous. And I'll say that then, I'll say it now. Anyone who thinks Tyson can't punch, he's 30-0 and he's got 21 knockouts. A non-puncher does not have that record. You've seen great champions in the past who can't punch. They're like 25-0 with 9 knockouts. Tyson's well over halfway of all his fights being knockout. You know, Tyson can punch with the best of them. You know, it just shows it. And anybody who doesn't, like I said, they need a brain transplant, because no man at 6'9" and 270 pounds can't punch. It's impossible.
I was looking at a few stats, and David Price and Dillian Whyte are considered big punchers, and Tyson Fury's got a higher percentage knockout than those two, but it never really gets mentioned. He always gets credit for his boxing ability, and rightly so, but he's just never been given credit for his punching power. And we saw him in his early days steamrolling through people. We saw the Steve Cunningham fight. We see even against Klitschko. Klitschko didn't want to come forward and walk through him because he knew what was coming back at him. And it's same with Wilder on Saturday night. As you're right, as you said, 6'9", 273 £. He can punch.
Well, for sure. It's what would you, David Price, Dillian Whyte, yeah, the big men, the giants. I'm an average size guy. I'm a big guy for an average size. But these men that you're messing with and talking about, the 6'5", the 6'6", the big fellas, like the giants of the modern day. But David Price, yeah, he's a banger. Dillian Whyte, yeah, he's a banger. But what other heavyweight in this planet or that's been in history is 6'9" and can box the way Tyson boxes? Every heavyweight can punch. Yeah, that's why they're in heavyweight division. But what heavyweight can box like Tyson? Imagine if Tyson couldn't box. Yeah, he'd have a big punch. Yeah, he'd be like the rest of them. Oh yeah, he can put. Yeah, he's a big puncher. He's big, isn't he? But but David Price can't box like Tyson. Dillian Whyte can't box like Tyson. No other man can box like Tyson, and that's why he's the best in the world. And in my opinion, the best heavyweight to ever live. I've got no, I'm not discrediting any other heavyweight. Mike Tyson, love him to pieces. Met him the other day. Couldn't get any words out. Think about it now, and I'm shaking still. Muhammad Ali, can't take anything away from them men. But you've got to look at facts here. Muhammad Ali, he was 6'3". He was 15 stone. Tyson's nearly 7 foot tall in the air. He's nearly 20 stone, and he moves like a middleweight. Have you ever seen that before? Because I haven't.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
It shouldn't be possible, really.
By right, that man shouldn't be able to move like he does, but he does. And he's done the things he's done. He's come from drugs, alcohol, being from the pits of hell. The worst way a man could ever get. And he's come back. He's come back to the top of the world. And if it's not shown that anything is possible, then I don't know what is. Everyone who says, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that," Tyson is living proof that he can come back from any adversity, any troubles you've been through in your life. If you've got a strong mindset and belief, you can come through and you can do anything. You can conquer the world if you wanted to.
And that's why many people believe he's bigger than boxing. We know Canelo Alvarez is a massive superstar, one of the biggest stars in boxing. Do you think Tyson's right up there now with Canelo?
I think Tyson's a much bigger star than Canelo. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people's going to have bad comments about that, but I can only speak truthfully. I can only speak from my heart. Tyson Fury is a lot bigger star than Canelo because it's on different platforms. Tyson is well up there with Canelo. If we're just talking pure boxing, don't get me wrong, like I said, you've got to speak facts. Canelo's a 5'7", 5'8" man. He should be able to do them things. He should be able to dance around the ring like he is because he's the weight he is. Tyson shouldn't. So that's on a boxing aspect. But has Canelo got the background? Has Canelo been through all these troubles? Is Canelo relatable? No. Every man out there in this world is relatable to Tyson because every man out there, every woman, every child and the dog is going through problems. A lot of problems. Tyson's gone through his problems. Everyone's seen Tyson's problems. That's why he's so relatable. Tyson's real. Tyson doesn't, he's not one of these people that's a materialistic person. He never has been. You can see it if you followed him. He's not interested in, material things. He's a normal, relatable guy. And that's what makes him so loved and so interesting. Because if you've seen his series on the ITV, you cannot get more normal if you tried. He goes down the pub for a pint. He goes to a local corner shop. He does everything normal, and that's why he's so relatable. And even boxing people who are not boxing fans, never watched a boxing fight in their life, are Tyson Fury fans, not because of boxing, because of the struggles he's had on the outside. Only boxing fans are fans of Canelo purely because of what he does in the ring. You get a 90-year-old grandmother out there and say Canelo Alvarez, you don't know who that is. You get a 90-year-old grandmother and say, do you know who Tyson Fury is? Yes, because he's bigger than boxing. Canelo Alvarez, he is a great. I love the man, I can watch him all day. But he is only big in boxing. Tyson's an icon for different things, and that's why, in my opinion, he's a bigger star than Canelo Alvarez.
And we saw in the ITV documentary with yourself and your dad, you're just a normal family, and that's why I think the country's in love with the Furies.
Well, that's it. You know, I think I can speak for many. Fury is the biggest name in the world right now, and so it should be. You know, Tyson's just put our name up in lights for history. You know, words can't describe how we feel. You know, watching him ringside doing as well as he is, achieving the things that he's achieved. You know, he's the best person, actor, singer, whatever you want, to come out of England, and that's an achievement in itself. You know, it is what it is. Tyson Fury's not a name that you'll remember for 5-10 years. Tyson's a Fury that is a name that will go down in history. People will be talking about Tyson for hundreds of years, because when have you ever seen it? Whenever have you seen a comeback like that? You've seen a lot of sporting comebacks, yeah, but whenever?
I'd say Muhammad Ali.
That's what I'm talking about. And Muhammad Ali was 100 years ago, and we're still talking about him. So what's Tyson going to be like, the modern day? You know, words can't describe how we all feel, because at the end of the day, like my dad says all the time, people like Tyson come around every 1,000 years, you know, and you're not going to see a Tyson again for a very long time. So you've got to enjoy him while he's here.
Deontay showed incredible bravery not to quit himself. Obviously, the towel came in the corner, made that decision. However, he's received a lot of criticism for his comments since the fight, blaming his costume for weakening his legs. Thoughts on that comment, Tommy?
I mean, to be honest, it's not ideal, is it? You know, I can only speak the truth. It's not ideal. And as a fighter myself, I know if I got obliterated and smashed to bits off a better man, you could interview me at the end of that fight and I'd say, do you know what? I trained hard. I did everything I could. I made sacrifices. I lost to the better man. An excuse is what you'll never ever find in anyone with the last name Fury. You'll never find an excuse there. If you get beat by a better man, you get beat by a better man. There's no saying my costume is too heavy. Listen, the man's come out and said he tried his costume on the night before the fight. He would have realised if the costume was too heavy there and then. And I'm sorry, he's come out and said that. If you think a costume's too heavy, I know for one fact, if I had the biggest fight in my career on Saturday night, and it was Friday night now, and my costume developer came in with a suit, and I tried it on, and I walked up and down the hotel room, and I thought to myself, that's too heavy. Do you think I'd be wearing a suit, worrying about the biggest fight in my life, and a suit will come into play? I don't believe that the suit was an issue. I just believe it's an excuse. It is an excuse. An excuse I don't like. But apart from the excuse, I'm only going to go off pure boxing and what I've seen in the fight, up close and personal. Deontay's a proper man, he's a fighting man, and that's why he's got to where he is. You know, he's a proper man, and he's a man that his kids can be proud of. Can't say any less, because he was in there, he took some good shots like a proper man would do, and any other man would look for the floor. You know, the big man like that coming at him, swinging away, landing, body shots, everything, they would look for the floor. He never did. So I can only commend him on that. But like my dad touched on earlier, you can't come out and say, you know, you blame it on a suit. You took a loss, take it like a man and come back stronger. That's all you can do. Never ever make excuses in the fight game, because to be honest with you, you just like a prick, don't you, to be honest? That's all I can say. You lose a fight, you lost to the better man. You win a fight, good luck, move on. Don't make excuses, not in this game, because only proper men are allowed in the fight game. If you're not a proper man, get out. You lost to a better man, shake his hand and walk off. And that's it.
So we're in a situation now where we expect that third fight to happen. Wilder's called for it. Obviously, fans in Britain are calling for that undisputed fight with Anthony Joshua. What are your thoughts on this? Because from Tyson's point of view, he's won every possible belt out there. He's got nothing else to prove. However, he's getting better, clearly, as we saw on Saturday night with his best performance. He's going to have so much more to give. So therefore, if he carries on, a fight with Joshua is kind of the next thing out there, because he does have the belts, Tyson's old belts obviously, and it's two Brits having an undisputed fight in the heavyweight division. I don't think we're going to get that ever again, or for a very long time.
Yep.
Do you think Eddie and Anthony will take that fight? Do you think they'll push for that fight with Tyson?
Asked me before Saturday, I would have said 100%. $1,000,000%. Asked me after Saturday, no. Definitely not. You know, before Saturday, they seen Tyson beat Deontay Wilder, but also get dropped this and that, this and that. Now, what do they see? They see a monster. Do you think if Anthony Joshua's worrying about a 23-stone fat man from Mexico, what do you think he's going to worry about against a 6'9" giant who's in shape and who's just knocked out the biggest puncher that's ever been? I'm sorry, I've always said it. Anthony Joshua is a great fighter. He really is. He's achieved great things. He's won a world title. He's won 4 world title belts. He's won a gold medal. He's done great things. But every time you get a great fighter and you get an elite fighter, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, the great fighters will go down in history. But the elite fighter and the only elite fighter on this planet is Tyson Fury. And they ain't going to beat him. I've said it time and time again. I did an interview the other day and I got a lot of stick because I said Anthony Joshua wouldn't be able to lace Tyson's boots up. And I stick behind that wholeheartedly. Tyson is the best ever at moving the head. And Deontay Wilder somehow clipped him, but Tyson lost 10 stone and got in the ring with him. Joshua doesn't move his head. Can you only imagine what Wilder would do to Joshua? So, for me, that fight there, I think, honestly, that'd be one of the easiest fights of Tyson's career. He's got too much skill. Too much skill. Can you imagine if Tyson boxed the way he did against Wilder the first time? What would happen to Anthony Joshua with the slow feet? It wouldn't even be a contest. Honestly, it wouldn't be a contest. And I'm saying that now. And if you interviewed me the day of the fight, I would say the same thing. I'll say it now, that fight, if it ever takes place, because Tyson's going to do what he's going to do, whether he wants to retire tomorrow or fight for another 20 years, he will do what he wants to do. But I will say now, that will be the easiest fight of Tyson's career. 100,000,000%.
Listen, I'm not sure that fight happens, to be honest. It seems like there's going to be a lot of complications. But if it does happen, it'll be a great occasion nonetheless still, because as I said, it's 2 Brits for the undisputed heavyweight title. So
yeah, I mean, when have you ever had that before? You know,
no, never.
A lot of fights, I said it in Fight Week, a lot of fights happen, great fights happen, but a lot of great fights should happen 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. That's the great thing about Wilder and Tyson. That great fight happened when both were in the prime. They're both 30-year-old, they're both in the prime of their life, producing the best boxing that they could produce. Joshua, prime of his life. Tyson, prime of his life. It will be the biggest fight Britain has ever seen. You know, going back how far you ever want to go back. That's the biggest fight you will ever see. So if it does happen, you've got to pray to God every day and thank him every day that you've witnessed a great fight like that. But as far as it being a contest, I wouldn't be able to call it a contest. I'm just going off pure boxing ability. I'm sorry, if Anthony Joshua is worried about Andy Ruiz, who's my height and 23 stone, with, God do forgive me, a pair of tits like my mother, however, is he going to beat Tyson? He isn't going to, is he? So what's he going to do when he's got a big giant, 7 foot tall, steaming into him with lefts and rights, and all Anthony Joshua knows is 1-2 and a hook, and his hands up like that. Klitschko's 42-year-old and they knocked him out. And now a lot of people, all the AJ fans, whatever you want to call him, right, they'll all be coming on saying, oh, he's just hating, he's this, he's that, he's biased. I'm not, I'm just speaking facts. Anybody that can go and watch that AJ fight versus Ruiz, you look at that and go and look at the Wilder and Tyson fight. However, in a chances, he hasn't got a chance. He has not got a chance. And if AJ is going to take that fight, I'd fight everyone now, and I'd defend all your belts that you can now. And when you're ready to pack up and lose badly, then take the Tyson fight. But until then, don't be looking in the eyes of Tyson. Don't even look in his direction. Stick to Pulevs. Stick to the Pulevs of the world, and stick to whatever you're going to fight. But when you want to lose and retire, then fight Tyson.
Listen, that side Saturday night was an amazing spectacle, and it goes down in history for sure. Tommy, any updates with you? We know Frank Warren's got a big card with Dubois and Joyce pay-per-view live on BT Sport. Any chance you could wind up on that card?
I mean, you never know, do you? But at the end of the day, I just want to touch on one thing. You know, since doing Love Island, don't get me wrong, it was the best move that I've ever made. It was a great move for my life, my career, in terms of me, Tommy Fury. It was a great move for me. But let's not get it twisted. You know, my dad's here now. I was in that gym, 6 and 7 years old, training, earning my graft. I sat quietly in the background. I was like a spar. I was sitting on this chair now, as I am now. I used to watch Tyson Yui spar all the time. Rounds after rounds after rounds. I never said nothing, never did nothing. Just sat there and watched. I knew one day it'd be my time. And Love Island was a great thing, but that's a thing of the past now. I'm a fighting man. As 14, 15, 16-year-old child, I was messing with 6'6", 6'7", 18 stone heavyweights in the gym. And my dad's there to say to not call me a liar. I was holding my own as well with big men. So I know when my time's right, I'll get there 100%. Yeah, it's going to take some time. Yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day. But I'll tell you one thing I've got. I've got heart, I've got determination, and I want to learn and I want to win. And it doesn't matter who you put me in the ring with, I will always find a way. Because when you want something that bad, and you've wanted it since being a little child, I can remember being 3 and 4 years old, get my first pair of yellow gloves from Sports Direct. I sparred my brother. Roman knocked me nose straight in. That's probably why it's as big as it is today. But listen, did I quit? No. Did I take it and think, I don't want that anymore, have the gloves back? No. I went straight back to the gym. I was up on the road at 5 o'clock in the morning. I know what I want. Reality TV is not what I want. It's great, yeah. But all I want, I've said it from time and time again, I want a world title, and I'm not just saying it as it's a thing that everybody can have. I know you've got to work hard, I know you've got to make sacrifices, but if there's a man to make sacrifices and work hard, it's me. I'm 20 years young, and I'm ready to put my whole life into boxing because I want it that bad. And I don't care what I have to do, I'll get there.
To be fair, Tommy, since you've come off Love Island, which was obviously a while ago now, I haven't heard you speak like that about the fight game. So that is really encouraging to hear.
I'm very passionate about it. I'm very passionate about it. You call me at any time of the day. I'll be on YouTube, I'll be on Twitter. What am I looking at? Boxing 24/7. I love boxing with all my heart. I don't know why, because you just get punched in the face quite hard. So I could easily go out there and just pose and put some makeup on in front of a camera and sit on a television show for the rest of my life, 100%. But I've done that now. I've done that. And it's not really for me, because every time when I was in Love Island, every time when I was doing whatever I was doing on that reality TV side, there was always something in my head saying, "This you want a bigger challenge, don't you?" And I said yes. I don't want something that anybody can do. Anybody can go on Love Island and sit in the sun for 2 months. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do a reality TV show. You don't need no skill for that. I want to test myself, and I want to be remembered in history. I've got a talent, and I want to use it to the best of my ability, and I want to do the best that I can. You know, I'm not trying to be Tyson. Tyson's a one-off. He's the best heavyweight that's ever been. All I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do the best for myself. I'm trying to do the best, have the best life that I can have, give me kids when I have them the best life that they can have, and do well for myself as a man. And boxing wise, I love boxing with all my heart, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen, but I bet your life on it, I'm going to try with every inch I've got to be a world champion, and I know I'm going to be a world champion. And if I can do half as well as Tyson, I'll be happy with that. You know, I'm just a young kid trying to do the best that he can. You know, there's nothing more, nothing less to it. You know, I'm not looking for millions of pounds here and there. I'm not interested in that. I'm just looking to have the best life that I can. And right now, I'm enjoying life. All my family's happy. I'm happy. You know, let the good times roll.
Absolutely. Just rounding this off, I do want to touch on a bit of a difficult subject, Tommy. It's been a couple of weeks now. Tragically, Caroline Flack passed away, took her own life. It's a bizarre world we live in with social media. Now you've had sort of a bit of time to process what's happened. Just your thoughts or comment on it, Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the saddest things, you know, that I've since being alive that I've heard of, because that woman, I can honestly say from the bottom of my heart, I was with that woman for 2 months in doing the Love Island, and she was. It's crazy to think that woman every day she was spreading joy, she was spreading laughs, she always had a smile on her face, she was always making jokes. She was a perfect person to be around. You wouldn't have got a better, nicer girl. A lovely looking woman. You know, it's a shame, it really is. But I hope what's happened to Caroline, can really, you know, send a message out to people. You know, that no matter what, it's easy for me to get my phone out now and write something on Twitter and not bat an eyelid over it. But everyone should watch what they say, because you don't know how people are feeling. And Caroline's a perfect example of that. You know, a lovely woman like that, gone way before her time. And you know, I can't really comment too much because I wasn't best friends with Caroline. I didn't know her on that much of a personal level. You know, I'm not going to comment and sit here like I did. Caroline was an unbelievable woman, and all I can really say from what I know, like again, a stunning, unbelievable woman. And I send my heart, my condolences out, my best wishes to all the family and friends that's going through this hard time right now. But you know, it's sad, and I hope people really do realise what they're saying from now on. And that a small word can be taken in a lot of doses. You know, and just watch what you're doing, because, you know, it's not all it looks out there. You know, you don't know how people are feeling on the inside. They might put on a brave face, but inside they might be crumbling. So whenever you're thinking about writing that nasty message on Twitter, whenever you're thinking about inboxing your favourite celebrity, calling him whatever you're going to call him, just take a step back and think what you're doing.
Well said, Tommy, and obviously thoughts go out to all of our family and friends.
Yeah.
in this incredibly difficult time. Listen, Tommy, appreciate your time on IFL. We'll leave the Furies now for a week or so, and then I'm sure we're going to catch up with all of you. I think Tyson's got something going on Saturday in Morecambe, so look forward to that. And we look forward to your next fight being announced, alright?
Perfect. Thank you very much. God bless.
Cheers, Tommy. God bless you as well.